Hi everyone. Name is David. I'll be talking about surveillance equipment and how it's useful in policing and some of its controversies. Like for example, uh, a large, well, most recently, of how it's being used, like software-wise in ICE protests of some. You might be able to find an article online about how agents are taking photos and video of the protesters' face to create their own database, and that is also one of the technologies being used in how to respond and also deemed what or how the amount of force to use on that individual or group of people. And I'm gonna deviate back. I'll pivot back in there, back over there in a second. But it's modern interpretation, like policing it in general, started in Canada. I'm gonna move to this slide so I can have an easier time to pivot. Uh, it started in Canada, and then over time, it started to move into the U.S. into policing, primarily in the early 2000s. Uh, and expanded upon post 9/11 and the number of terror bombings from the Boston. I forget his the title that he gave him, the marathon bomber and anthrax. I forget that, but overall, the large amount of increase post 9/11, at least publicly, which saw a massive corporation of policing equipment from surveillance cameras, the facial recognition software as it's been getting more spotlight in the news most recently, as many people in the States may be aware, but also in its use like us either software wise, but also mechanical wise, sorry, material wise, in like even though I don't want to read for word, but shot spotter is actually a surprisingly not talked enough technology that is being used in policing. For example, it's being used in almost all urban cities in the United States, and for some regard, in some regard, uh, overseas. But if you don't know what it is, it's pretty much it's a network of high powerful microphones, and the software that's being used that connects it all over the city in order to locate where the shots are being fired and how to and well help first responders probably get over there and deal with whatever's going on. And I'm putting it over here, as mentioned. Sorry, of how surveillance equipment, particularly surveillance cameras, are being used in policing. Sorry, that's the title. Sorry. In policing itself, like for example, as you can see here, if you're wondering where you did find this is Avi entry. The This one right here. I'll have it posted in the discussion, but you'll be able to it provides some meaningful data on what types of crime it's actually, well, specifically what type of crime it's playing a huge role in help investigators determine the facts and how to respond itself. For example, robberies from out their face and other, well, their face, what they have, well, what kind of weapon they have, all that, what they're wearing, alongside some other very useful metrics. Well, if you can't see in the video, the black grayish is how much is useful, whilst the gray itself is when it's available. And then there's also this one in if it's useful, if it's well, if it's not useful, if it is useful. As you can see, the various amount of percentages, even though it's not this is very old, well, it's from 2017. It still provides a great amount of perspective on how much surveillance equipment like body cameras surveillance cameras, uh, shot spotter. Well, it has different names, but shot spotter, and uh, different degrees of software that comes alongside it. There's also another one, even though I'm running time. This one actually represent shows the process about how law enforcement itself uh deals well and when it's available, how first responders deem the footage is useful. If it's not, this chart helps demonstrate if XYZ has happened, it also then this will happen. And then I'll touch well, since I had it already up close. My recommendations due to how much data it actually consumes on everyone, no matter even though like almost constantly a surveillance camera always is watching. Of data, privacy concerns, all that. The positive and also negatives of the technology. Positives, civil rights. Oh, positives. Sorry, of high crime crackdown. So being able to high success rate in finding the person and taking him out. Oh, taking him into custody, and provides a lot of the documentation on the crime itself and helps easier convictions for the criminal. But the problem is their civil rights misreading, well, and then of course the software misreading, as most recently, I believe Texas or Florida, of AI software that's been misidentifying a like bag of chips for a weapon and all that. And then of course biases and not being able to provide rapid, well, almost instantaneous response. But the overall, uh, sorry, sorry about not being too ready with this. I just got back from work of finding an inhuman in the loop, even though the software and technology itself is controversial. A human in the loop will help reduce, if not eliminate, false positives and help increase reliability for both the public and also police operations so that nothing, uh, no false positives happen and everyone remains safe. And it's no, okay, I'm running. I think I ran out of time. Thank you for watching.